Our immune system helps to defend us against pathogens like bacteria and viruses that can enter our body and may lead to infection and illness. An autoimmune disorder can occur when something goes wrong and our immune system starts to attack itself. There are over 80 different autoimmune disorders affecting 1 in 20 people in Australia. Cryoglobulinemic vasculitis is an autoimmune disorder which affects small blood vessels, usually in the lower legs, and can cause weakness, joint pain, and a purplish red rash. The cause of this inflammation can be found if we look closely inside these tiny blood vessels. Here we are inside one of the affected blood vessels just under the skin. Over time, the vessel becomes inflamed in response to abnormal immune molecules called autoantibodies that build up on the blood vessel walls, eventually blocking it. We can also look closely inside one lymph node to see some of the events that can lead to disorders of the immune system. The lymph node is home to a vast number of cells at various stages of development, but all part of a healthy immune system. These immune cells are called Bcells and are a type of white blood cell and one of the key players in our immune system. Each B cell has special molecules on its surface with a unique binding site that is encoded in the B cell DNA. These molecules target potentially dangerous pathogens like bacteria and viruses that enter our body, against which the B cell will initiate an antibody response with the aim to destroy the invading pathogens. Each B cell can produce antibodies with a unique fingerprint, allowing our immune system to target a vast array of pathogens. But in patients with an autoimmune disorder, the B cells produce a type of antibody called an autoantibody that targets the patient's own tissues, cells, and even other antibodies. At first, the autoantibodies have very weak binding to other antibodies, but the B cell will quickly go through a natural process where it is stimulated to divide over and over again. This process leads to a tribe of similar B cells that produce autoantibodies with slightly different binding fingerprints due to mutations in their genetic code. By chance, some of these autoantibodies will exhibit very strong binding to other antibodies, and these will be secreted into the entire circulation. Here you can see a specific type of antibody called IgM that has been secreted. These large antibody structures can bind to multiple targets at the one time. Instead of targeting unwanted pathogens, the circulating autoantibodies start to create large complexes with other antibodies in the blood. In patients with cryoglobulinemic vasculitis, a final genetic event compromises the solubility of the autoantibody complexes, leading to the precipitation of insoluble aggregates that build up on the blood vessel walls. At this time, there are no targeted therapies for these patients. But with active genetic research, we now have a much better understanding of its nature and a better prospect for a future cure.